What you don't know might truly hurt you when it comes to marriage. Relationship experts say that many couples avoid asking one another the challenging questions that can help lay the groundwork for a solid marriage, whether out of shyness, boredom, or a desire to maintain romantic mystique. Those who are thinking about getting married today expect their husbands to be both their best friend and their confidant, in addition to desiring someone with whom they can raise children and have a comfortable life. It can be challenging to meet these romantic comedy expectations. There are many questions that may be asked of one another in the beginning of a relationship to assist establish compatibility, but let's face it, most couples don't. It is said, if you don't deal with an issue before marriage, you deal with it while you're married. It might be difficult to hold secrets for decades at a time, and being reserved prior to the wedding can cause disappointments later on. It takes a lot of figuring out to get married. You can either do it while you're married or you can ask specific questions to learn how your prospective spouse would react to certain circumstances. For a variety of reasons, you could be reluctant to approach him or her. However, the reality is that you need to take care of this as soon as possible. The following intimate and perhaps painful questions are meant to elicit sincere conversations and perhaps provide couples with a window of opportunity to reveal secrets before it's too late. Number 1. What actions can one take to make the other person leave? Asking this question might be really challenging, especially if you two are very in love. You could argue that nothing will ever drive the other person away. But in reality, there is always a reason why one spouse may leave a marriage. What are some potential responses to this query? You may decide to divorce your spouse as a result of infidelity and extramarital encounters. Constant disregard may also be a factor. It will rely on the requirements you have for yourself. We can discuss the fundamental requirements for a human being, such as food, water, air, clothing, shelter, and other comforts. Lack of social, safety, esteem, or self-actualization requirements can also be the cause. Number 2. How do you cope with stress? Every person has stress in their lives, whether they are married or not. Most likely, your partner has dealt with stress on a regular basis in his personal, professional, and home lives. Stress has an odd way of defining individuals and their personalities. Some people lose their temper easily when under pressure in specific circumstances. Some people even try to make others feel their rage. Since you are your spouse's first point of contact when he or she gets angry, this can be extremely frightening. Others will make an effort to contain their stress. They refuse to talk about it. They won't express any sort of sentiment toward it. Given that you are not impacted by his stress initially, this may be advantageous. But over time, this could have a disastrous effect on the marriage. He might simply be a ticking time bomb ready to go off. Be fully aware of how your spouse manages stress, and ask yourself if you could envision yourself dating someone who does the same. Number 3. How do you act when other people live under the same roof as you? In a marriage, everyone resides together. You can ask your spouse this question if the two of you haven't yet shared a home or apartment. When it comes to their own property, some people have very high standards. Nobody should ever touch their belongings, they say. They want to leave everything exactly as they found it. If you live together, this may be a problem. Space, rooms, even furniture and appliances must be shared. Others have certain privacy needs in their lives. Some people will desire a room that they can use exclusively. Others may desire a private area for their interests and entertainment. When you begin living together, make sure to discuss how his or her actions in the home will influence both of you. Number 4. Do you hope to have children someday? For some people, this may be a deal breaker. While some people simply do not want children, others cannot imagine a married life without them. You should ask this question in a direct manner. When asking your partner this question, you should both be completely honest. You should discuss it and decide on your future intentions for starting a family. The future of your partnership will be better if you can resolve issues quickly. Number 5. How do you deal with disagreements, conflicts, and disputes? Marriage is not without conflict. Married couples who claim they have never fought are either being humorous or just lying. You should find out how your future partner handles disagreements and confrontations. Does he leave the room whenever someone objects to what he is saying? When there are misunderstandings, does he engage in a yelling match? Or does he simply accept what the other person says without responding or taking offense? These are all poor examples of how to resolve conflicts. Problems cannot be resolved by walking away, yelling, or not responding. You ought to maintain your voice at a reasonable volume and your emotions under control. If your boyfriend engages in any of these behaviors, try to work things out with him so that you can concentrate on the issue rather than the animosity. Number 6. How do you feel about your family relationships? What kind of relationship does your boyfriend have with his parents and siblings? Of course, even if things with his family are not ideal, you won't abandon him. But you can be sure that it will influence how he treats you and your future children in some way. The bond between the parents is also crucial. He won't have any understanding of how marriages should function if he doesn't have a role model parent to look up to. He can be unfamiliar with managing relationships and fostering affection. Number 7. How are you managing your finances? The main source of conflict in relationships, according to a SunTrust Bank survey, is money. Are your financial worries going to be the main reason you put off getting married? Who will be in charge of money management? Are any of you adept at earning income and managing finances? Marriage requires good handling of finances. You should get to know each other financially as soon as feasible. To function successfully in marriage, it is not only required but also practical. Number 8. What does alone time mean to you? Is alone time all about your partner being away from you for the entire day? Does it have to do with occupying personal space in your home? Or does it have to do with allowing your prospective spouse to spend some time with his friends? Whatever he means by alone time, you must respect it at all costs. Of course, you can do this without endangering your marriage. Number 9. Will the marriage face obstacles because of religion? Their linked faith is another deal breaker for some people. On religious matters, some people can come to an agreement. Others would never think to abandon their faith in favor of another. It is better to re-evaluate your future and determine whether your relationship will result in marriage if you are the one who cannot or will not alter your religion for your spouse. Culture is related to religion. Some faiths have strong ties to various family culture. Are you both willing to compromise for your own personal faiths? Number 10. If we get married, are there any things you won't be willing to give up? Marriages can be harmed by some addictions. It can be challenging to quit smoking. Using drugs is definitely not acceptable. Pornography, flirtation, and other sexual behaviors are also subject to scrutiny. You can surely bring up these obvious issues with your future partner. What about, though, individual interests? 1 are interests. Someone you care about might have a collection of some kind, including toys, books, comics, sports cars, or other items. If it starts to affect your marriage, is he prepared to give it up or manage it? Number 11. Have you ever participated in or gone through relationship infidelity? It can be awkward to ask this question, especially if you have never brought up your previous relationships with anyone. But you can also discover more about his personality by asking him this. Why did he lie? What made her deceive him? Find the underlying reasons why the other party can cheat on him and why he does so. Number 12. Would you be open to talk about our sexual needs? Sex is important in a marriage. Both men and women need the sex-related pleasures. You should be open and honest about your desires, both sexual and otherwise. There are specific things that pique our interest. We can feel uncomfortable around other people. Are you both willing to sit and talk about how you can improve your sex life as a couple? Do you concur with this list? Have you ever considered asking any of these? If you like this video, please like and share it with others who might also find it useful. Also, don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss any future videos. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.